What is up, Cobra Kai fans? Welcome back to the channel for a Splitzville Cobra Kai Season 6 related video. Without question, the first 5 episodes of Season 6 had its fair share of twists and turns that none of us saw coming. And definitely the biggest twist by far in my opinion was Tory joining Kreese's Cobra Kai. And a twist like this raises some really important questions that need to be asked for what's to come in Part 2. And one of the biggest consequences that I could see resulting from this is that Tory and Robby may break up once again in Part 2. Now I know what you're probably thinking, they already broke up in Season 5. I really hope they don't just rehash all this teenage love drama that I thought was done in the prior seasons. But if you really sit down and think about it, it's not really teenage love drama anymore. The couples up until this point have been set and there's no need to worry about any of that. And after all, the reason for Tory and Robby's breakup in Season 5 was because of Tory's refusal to leave Cobra Kai. Granted, she did have some ulterior motives working behind the scenes with Kreese to try and ultimately take down Terry Silver's Cobra Kai from within, but we ultimately don't know the entirety of Tory's motivations behind rejoining Cobra Kai with Kreese. And from where Robby's sitting, I don't really think any of those reasons will be justified into her turning her back on her friends, and most importantly, her boyfriend. Tory was just now finally getting settled at Miyagi-Do, and she was able to get over that weird awkwardness with her ex Miguel, and even with her fierce rivalry with Sam that we thought would have no end. They were even well on their way to becoming best of friends. She even went as far to make a promise with Robby that no matter what happens, it's going to be them two on the podium together. And while that still may happen, it just might mean they're going to be on opposite ends of the spectrum, which is honestly just so heartbreaking to actually see and think about. And this breakup was honestly pretty much teased in the Beyond the Dojo scenes that were teased in the brief snippet segment for Part 2. We see small glimpses of Robby and Tory seemingly making eye contact with one another in some kind of nightclub, bar, or even restaurant. However, that could be a misdirect. They may not be looking at each other at all, but let's say they are. I do believe that Robby's definitely going to be wanting to have some sort of sit-down one-on-one conversation with her to just see where the heck her head's at, because the last time that we know Robby saw Tory was when we all found out that her mom died and she backed out of the fight to determine the captain for Miyagi-Do. I definitely think that Robby's gonna be very understanding and open to be hearing Tory's point of view, but I definitely think that he's not going to agree with the way she went about things. I definitely have a feeling that the whole motive behind Tory rejoining Kreese's Cobra Kai, it's all for her mother, and her joining Cobra Kai guarantees her being the captain of that dojo, whereas her captainship for Miyagi-Do was ripped away from her in her own mind, of course. And the way I see this whole conversation between Robby and Tory playing out is that Robby's still gonna try and hear Tory out to the best of his ability. She's gonna tell her side, and while being very understanding and comforting, Robby's not gonna agree with it one bit, and he's gonna try and get her out of Cobra Kai again, but Tory's gonna feel very apprehensive of this and gonna feel like Robby's taking away this chance and opportunity for her to better her life for her brother, just like her mom would have wanted. And then that's gonna cause some tension, and that might ultimately lead to a mutual split between the two again. Cobra Kai co-creator John Hurwitz in a recent Q&A kind of teased this split up, even just a little bit, saying that he loves all the ships that have happened in the show, but he went on to say that some high school relationships last forever and others don't. We'll leave these characters somewhere at the end of the series. It'll take your imagination or a spin-off to determine where it goes from there. Now, if I were to guess, I would say that Tory and Robby would be getting together at some point, at least by the end of the series, but honestly, I definitely wouldn't rule out if they don't get back together at all, which is sad to say, but just an also even sadder reality that not all high school relationships do in fact last. However, I do not see Tory gutting it out with Cobra Kai till the end of the tournament. Definitely feel like she'll be back with our friends at Miyagi-Do at some point, but just because she does do that doesn't mean she'll end up back in Robby's arms. Because just when Robby was about to start trusting Tory again when it comes to Cobra Kai, she completely flips the script and turns her back on him and the rest of her friends, which is just truly a sad sight to see. I definitely understand, her mother died and everything, but I really don't think that Robby's gonna see it as it justifying that type of betrayal. You can understand and see where another person's coming from, but at the end of the day, it doesn't always justify their behavior. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. What do you think of my thoughts on this? Do you think Tory and Robby are going to break up in season 6 part 2? It kind of makes sense to me because, you know, now they're on opposite ends of the spectrum. Tory's now with the enemy and Robby is now viewed as the enemy in the eyes of Kreese. And if they do break up, do you see them potentially getting back together by the end of the series? Definitely let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments section. I'd love to hear all your guys' thoughts. Be sure to leave a like on the video if you got something out of today, and if you didn't, change it to a dislike. Any feedback greatly helps out my channel with the YouTube algorithm. And if you love everything when it comes to the Cobra Kai series, make sure that you're a subscriber to my channel. I got plenty more videos in the pipeline leading up to part 2 that you're not going to want to miss. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. No mercy.